First of all, I'd like to thank everyone coming out tonight on this disgusting night. It's awful, so I really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for coming out. My name is Kylie Villerud. I am the secretary of this great organization. I am a sophomore digital media and design major, and I just want to say welcome. Thank you all again so much for coming. So tonight is our kickoff event, and it's the start of all of our campaigns. You'll be hearing from all our campaign coordinators and their goals and plans for this semester. And yeah, we're going to be even doing some campaign work at the end of the night, where we're going to be breaking down into different campaigns and actually start doing some grassroots work and planning out the semester. So tonight is the culmination of our 2.5-week thing that we do at the beginning of every semester called our recruitment drive. And I had the amazing honor to run this recruitment drive this semester. So basically, our recruitment drive is we're going out, we're talking to as many students as we possibly can to tell them who we are, what we are, what we do, and how to get them involved. We provide a bunch of grassroots resources that we want to help empower students to make a change. Our generation is facing a bunch of bad things, like climate change, the high cost of college, and we want to be able to make a difference and a push on all of these issues. Our mission statement is we want to make we believe that students don't even wait until after graduation to create a more meaningful, greener, healthier future. So yeah. Our chapter chair, Walter Dodson, he's going to be talking a little bit about us as PIRG and all that good stuff.
Thanks, Kylie. Hello, everybody. My name is Walter Dodson, and I am the chapter chair here at UConn. I am a junior political science and philosophy double major, and I am in this organization because I, much like some of you, was not about to wait until I graduate to have my voice heard on a lot of issues. So that's why I'm here. I would like to first thank all of you, like Kylie said, for coming out on this gloomy, rainy night. I would also like to thank our special guests for coming by. It really goes to show how much you support students and how much you believe in students' abilities to make a change. So thanks for coming all the way up to Stores. So Kylie touched on what we do and who we are, but I'd like to just talk about what makes this a unique and a special organization. We at UConn PIRG, we are the only organization, the only student-run organization on this campus whose sole purpose is organizing students. Our one and only goal, every ounce of free time that we have, is trying to figure out the best way to mobilize students to have all our voices heard. Emily is going to talk about this. Our generation, we are the largest voting bloc in the country, but we vote at the smallest amount. And students have a voice. We, right now, in fact, a USG organized event is talking to parking, is organizing a forum to talk to parking services right now. And that's students using their voices. And that's what makes us really, really special. And for 45 years, we have been working every single day to make a more meaningful, lasting change and having an impact on our future. And that, to me, is a big thing that sets us apart. In addition, another big facet of what makes us unique is our national reach. So UConn PIRG, in addition to our two other chapters at Trinity College and UConn Hartford, we make up this statewide organization called ConPIRG. And the three chapters here, we pool our resources together and hire professional organizing staff. We hire a campus organizer who is on site every single day, who trains us, gives us the best strategies and techniques to help us achieve our campaigns. We hire lawyers and advocates and state lobbyists who, if we want to be working on an issue like voting, if a bill comes up in Hartford that calls site on campus, we know just who to talk to, so we can get students in the room to voice our opinion on that bill. And that is just another great thing that makes us a unique organization. So I said Concord, right? There are, at this moment, 8 other statewide student-funded chapters, literally from sea to shining sea. We have Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland, North Carolina, Florida, Washington, Oregon, and California. And California, PIRG has done some impressive work in this last week alone. So, in California, they passed SB 100, which was a student-led effort to get the state of California to make a commitment to 100% renewable energy by 2050. That is absolutely huge. And that speaks to the power of students. And because we are this great nationwide federation of states, that gives us the ability to concentrate our power, to take on the biggest special interests like oil and energy corporations, but also take on Washington. In February, students from all 9 of those states, including us here in Connecticut, we went to Washington to lobby for open educational resources. Those are low to no cost textbooks. And because of the program that we initiated here in Connecticut, we got a $5 million grant in the federal appropriations bill for students. That is a direct investment for students, led by students. And that's what we're all about. Every single year, we keep fighting to have our voices heard. And lastly, I'm just going to wrap up with some of the fantastic things that we've been able to accomplish. I'm sorry, that's my mom. Those are, right, so, right. In the last three years, our Save the Bees campaign got UConn the designation of the first bee-friendly campus in Connecticut. In our H&H, our Hunger and Homelessness campaign, we have donated thousands of dollars to alleviate alleviate the effects of hunger and homelessness in the local community and here on campus. Our antibiotics campaign got a commitment from McDonald's, Subway, and KFC to phase out the routine overuse of antibiotics in some of their meat products. And the last 2 are the 2 that I'm most proud of. 4 years ago, we secured a $100,000 grant and a statewide task force in Hartford for the development and expansion of open educational resources here in Connecticut. And that program here has already saved students over $2 million at this university alone. And lastly, in 2016, when I was a freshman, we registered 2,400 students to vote and increased voter turnout in the town of Mansfield by 23%. That is absolutely massive. And that goes to show you what students can do. At the end of the day, it just goes to show you that students can make a difference. Students are the future. We are the ones we have been waiting for, and we are not going anywhere. And all of you have taken that first step to making real, lasting change by showing up here tonight. So I'd like to thank all of you for coming by. And next up, we have our very own student body president, Amma Apia, who's going to speak about us and USG.
Population here at the University of Connecticut. The essence of my job as president is to advocate for students on relevant campus issues to help them reach their maximum potential. But as a citizen and human being, it is also my job to make sure that I take the steps necessary to raise my voice, express my concerns, and advocate in can be of service to those who cannot. As young adults, this is especially important because we have the potential to make positive change, and that begins with all of you. When peers work with peers to lead the way for change, they inspire others to also take the opportunity to make that change and to make a difference. UConn PIRG does just this by equipping young adults with information and experiences as to how to effectively advocate for themselves and others. USG and UConn PIRG have had a great working relationship throughout the years, from open source textbooks to encouraging students to register for elections through the New Voters Project initiative. In regards to open source textbooks, I can give you a little bit more information, a few more details about that to show how amazing our collaboration has been and how much they've been working hard over the past few years. In the last few years, USG passed legislation asking the University of Connecticut to create an OER committee. And that same legislation led to the funding of the first open source textbook written by a UConn faculty member, and that was for our chemistry textbook. The Provost's office dedicated about $100,000 to the OER project, which introduced additional open source textbooks on campus. Students are now saving hundreds and thousands of dollars per year on textbooks. I think that's really amazing, and I really, again, round of applause for UConn PIRG. For the New Voters Initiative, we've made several plans to encourage students to vote in the upcoming gubernatorial elections through videos, tablings, and etc. And you'll probably see us out on campus doing that this semester. As a senior in college, I've been able to see how USG and UConn PIRG have grown over the years, especially in my various roles in student government. We have come so far just in the 3 years that I've been here, and I'm so excited to see what we do in the next semester and the next year alone. Thank you for having me, and I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, Amma, so much. Next, we're going to have our very own Secretary of State, Ms. Muriel, talk a little bit about, student power and the importance of voting, and her work on modernizing kind of the Connecticut voting system. So great, thank you.
Well, no, I see two models here. One person used the mic. That's kind of better, right? Isn't that better? Yeah, I think so. Well, good evening. Great to be back at UConn. This was not a long trip for me because I actually lived here for 30 years, right up the street. I was the state representative from UConn, that's the way people used to talk about me, for 17 years. And all those years I worked with ConPIRG. So congratulations, you're still here and still doing great stuff. It's great. So I want to tell you, you're lucky. You're lucky because you are alive to see the coming election and you can make a difference. And I say you're lucky because I am seeing, for the first time in a long time, I'll be honest, students, people, mostly between 18 and 24, coming back into civic life for the first time. There was a long period where there was a lot of apathy. And, let's face it, there probably still is. But the 2016 election changed everything. And since that time, in Connecticut, I've seen 275,000 new voters register since November of 2016. That is amazing in Connecticut. It's a big number. I've never seen that before. Biggest number we've ever seen. And of that 275,000 new voters in Connecticut, 34,000 are 18 to 24-year-olds, double the number that we've ever had. Something's happening out there. I'm not sure yet what it is, because we still haven't had another election since 2016. There's one coming right up in 2 months. It remains to be seen if those people who were so either upset or decided to get involved for whatever reason, are actually going to come out and vote. That's my big question. And if they do, they will change the world as we know it right now. I have to say I'm also proud of the fact that many of the new candidates running for office, and there are a lot in Connecticut, I can't remember the exact number, but a lot, About a third of the candidates running for the House and Senate in Connecticut have never run for office before. Many of them are young, and many of them are women. Sorry guys, I'm really, really excited about this. Because I've been, like I said, I've been in office a long time. I was majority leader of my party in the House. I was only the second woman in the history of the state, I like to say in 350 years, which is kind of how long we've been around. That's probably not fair, but only the second woman that attained any kind of leadership position. That's not right. We're 50% of the population. It's time we step up. So there's a lot going on and a lot where you can make a difference. And that's why you're here tonight, to help me out and some of the people that have been trying to get people to understand the importance of civic engagement in this time in our history. I don't think I've seen a time like that since I was very young in the 1970s. And it feels a lot like that. Because then we had our own things to be very angry about. And one of them, for me, was the environment at the time. I come from San Francisco, and I still remember when you could not see across this room because the air was so polluted in our city. We've forgotten that. We looked a lot, I went on a trade mission to China this year. We looked a lot like China. I was scared to be there for longer than a week because the air was brown. And I thought, I'm going to die if I stay here. I wanted to kiss the ground when I came back to the United States. And I will tell you, it wasn't always like this. And it changed because we made it change. We made a difference. And they changed all the air pollution requirements for cars in California. And right now, frankly, the current administration is trying to undo some of that. So it's time that all of you step up because we're all going to be called on to do something. I wasn't actually going to run for office this year. I am running again for Secretary of State. But I thought it was so important I didn't want to stand down. Not yet. I've done a lot in this state to try to make voting and registering to vote easier, as opposed to some states where they're making it harder. I'm very proud of the efforts we've made in Connecticut, and I think it's paying off. So, for example, here you can register online. If you have a Connecticut driver's license, it takes you about a minute. I don't know, how many of you have Connecticut driver's licenses? A lot, right? Good, and I'm assuming everyone in this room is registered. Okay. But if you're not, on your phone, 1 minute, go in, type in your information, you're registered. Or if you have moved, as most of you probably have, because you've moved here from wherever you live, you can register here. And it's great to do that because you have a louder voice as a group of students than you do as a solo person in Easton or New Canaan or wherever you're from. So I encourage students to register on campus because you do have a voice. And I've worked on many issues with students. My favorite was one we lost, actually. And that was I tried to eliminate plastic bags in Connecticut. It's now popular again. This was about 10 years ago. Students were the ones that helped me because I was from here. I was able to get literally thousands of students to come up to the Capitol and protest. We almost won, didn't quite make it, but it's going to be back. There's something you can really get behind and make a big difference. Because our cities are littered with plastic. Everywhere's littered with plastic. The oceans are littered with plastic. It's time we start doing something about some of this. Just like the air in California in 1974 when you couldn't see. Well, it's not like that today. You can make a difference. I know because I feel I did. And I feel I'm still making a difference. And I would say also, to any of you who are interested, run for office. No better way to step up. We've had several people, very young people, run for office right out of college. One ran still in college, in their own towns. They didn't necessarily run for governor or president. They're in for city council. And they're making a difference in their own towns. There's no reason you can't do that. Never leave it up to somebody else. Do it yourself. I never thought I'd be standing here. It was not my game plan at all. I was actually a pianist. I went to music school, And so here I am today. That's a very long story, as you can imagine. But I remember saying, I was the graduation speaker here, a number of years ago now, and I remember my main message was, try everything. You never know. The most menial, ridiculous job or whatever it is, or some volunteer thing you're doing, could turn into something wonderful. You just never know. If I told you the path that got me here, you'd be amazed. So there you go. The best way to really step up is run for office. Make a real difference. There's no reason you can't do it. And so I hope you will support me in my continuing efforts to make it easier to register to vote. And hopefully some of you will join the program we are tonight launching with PIRG to get, I think our goal should be every student on campus who is eligible to vote, is 18 and a citizen, should be registered. There's no reason that should not happen. And they should be registered on the campus so that they can be mobilized around these issues you care about. One of them you should be caring about is the budget for this university. Last year, there was a big budget crisis in Connecticut. $300 million was taken out of the budget for this university. And if you don't think that doesn't impact you, you're wrong, because it does. We've got to stop that. UConn, for me, was the best investment we ever made. And it's benefiting our state every single day. Because as you come out of here, you're going to have a degree that will hopefully keep you here. And there are jobs in this state. And there are a lot of good paying jobs going begging, frankly. So we've got to keep you here. You've got to get involved. And you've taken the first step by being here tonight. And I'm really grateful and proud to see so many people here. We're hoping to register every student on this campus that we can find and lay our hands on. We've done it a number of different ways over the years. We've had tables at every event. We've done some dorm storming where we start on the top floor and work our way down. And it does work. And once people are registered to vote, they do feel like they're maybe part of something. So I think it's terribly important that we start with just getting people to understand how important this year is. This is a moment in history that will not be repeated. And this midterm election will be a bellwether for what's going to happen in our country for years to come. Everyone in the world is watching the United States right now. There's a lot of fear about the destabilization of many countries in the world, including our own. And so this is your time. This is the time that you have to step up, because we can't do it without you. So seize the moment. This is the day. And go out there and bring some other people with you, because this room is not enough. It's got to be everybody. And that's what you're here to do. And I remember, I'll tell you, many, many years ago, sitting in a room just like this one was the first time I got involved. So if I can do it, so can you. And thank you for being here. And thank you for helping me get everybody in the state involved, especially at this great university that I love. All right, thanks so much.
All right. So next up, we are going to hear from every single one of our campaign coordinators. So if all y'all can get up on the stage here, and then everyone will hear a little bit about each and every campaign, and then we'll move into a breakout session, and that's when all of you will be able to start to make decisions about these campaigns. So first off, for our textbooks campaign, unfortunately, both of the campaign coordinators were unable to make it, so I'm just going to tell y'all about textbooks quick. Amma and I already kind of explained it, but the goal for this year is to expand the work that we've already done, and we want to, our goal is to have every single introductory course to have an open educational textbook. So that is every major introductory course that you can think of. And so, if that is a campaign that you would like to work on, we are going to be all the way in that back left-hand corner there. And next, we're going to hear from PIRG for 100%.
I'm Parth Patel, and I'm a sophomore, molecular and cell biology and political science double major, and I will be leading the 100% campaign. Now, the 100% renewable energy campaign was created for the goal of making the university commit to 100% renewable energy by the year 2050. Now, we are still working on this goal. This year, we're going to expand our goal even more. Now, let me tell you why renewable energy is an important cause to work for. Now, right now, most of the country uses many non-renewable resources, fossil fuel, nuclear energy, and many others, but renewable energy is still lacking all around the country. Renewable energy must be implemented soon, or we will keep facing climate change effects from pollution coming from fossil fuels, and we will also one day lose our energy sources because we won't have anything sustainable left. So we must implement more renewable energy all around the country and all around the state. Now, if you all remember, if you were here last year, we had construction going on North Eagle Road. It was the road right by the church. Now, over there, the university put new tracking, new lines with natural gas. Now, these natural gas lines are, of course, an improvement, but still not enough, because it's still not renewable energy and it still is not sustainable. We must invest in renewable energy for a better future. Now, this year, we're changing our focus for the campaign and making it more close-knit into a committee setting with a few less people, but we're trying to lobby politicians this year and lobby administrators in this university. Now, we are trying to focus on the state government as well as UConn's administration, because we think they're the ones who can actually implement the change we're trying to do. If we don't have pressure from the state, nothing can really change at this university. Now, we are also concentrating on the University Senate, trying to get more environmentally friendly plans passed within the University Senate. Now, I got on this campaign about a semester ago. Now, you all are joining PIRG right now. Some of you may have done it before, but I understand being someone new in this organization may be overwhelming. I was an intern on the 100% renewable energy campaign, and I worked on tabling. I was scoring a lot of tabling, and it was great. And by the end of it, I was asked to run the campaign. And you can see how just the amount of work you put in within one semester can be very influential. So please consider getting very involved, because you can really make a difference within this club. Now, the main purpose of this campaign will be making students better advocates for themselves. And we know that student power is very influential. As students, we can really change how people within the state view different issues, because we have a voice that other different age groups don't. We have the people. Now, if you would like to work on environmental issues, would like to improve your professionalism, and learn how to lobby politicians and administrators, and work for a great cause with great people, join 100%. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Isabel. I'm a sophomore environmental studies major, and I'm going to be the zero waste coordinator for this semester, and I couldn't be more excited. I first got really interested in this campaign when I attended the Mass Street Summit last spring. There, I had the opportunity to listen to various testimonies from people who had passed meaningful legislatures in their town to get plastic bags banned. And I was so inspired by their testimonies, because I realized that normal people like you and me could actually make lasting legislative and lasting meaningful impact on the world. Right now, plastic waste is one of the biggest things facing our generation and generations to follow. Nobody knows how to recycle, nobody knows what to recycle, and most of all, nobody really cares to find out. Apathy is one of the biggest things killing our planet. And it's nowhere worse than on college campuses. How many of us here think twice before throwing out a plastic bottle? Show of hands. How many people here know whether or not it's okay to throw out a greasy pizza box? I'm seeing not too many hands going up, and that shows that something needs to be changed on college campuses. And this semester, we're going to be doing it. This semester we're going to be showing our students that waste-free alternatives are not only easier than ever to access, but also more important than ever to access. We're going to be showing students that it's easy to reduce our waste, and it's so crucial to reduce our waste, now more than ever. We're going to be holding campus cleanups to get the student body involved with reducing their waste, and most importantly, we're going to be getting the UConn campus involved in banning plastic bags. Right now, we're working with the Solid Waste Advisory Committee in the town of Mansfield to get plastic bags banned in the town. However, UConn doesn't have to obey any of the ordinances passed in Mansfield, so we need to rally the student body of UConn so that we can also pass this plastic bag ban on UConn's campus and get plastic bags banned once and for all. I'm really excited to start this semester because plastic waste is something that I find extremely important. It's an issue we really need to start fighting, and I think this is the perfect place to start fighting it. I first got involved with PIRG my freshman year, the first semester of my freshman year with the 100% campaign. And I was so inspired to see all the people who could fight for these issues with just as much passion as I had. I'd always wanted to get involved in environmental campaigns, but I never had the resources to. And with PIRG, I do have the resources to, and every day I'm surrounded and motivated by people who are working harder than I ever could, and who continue to make this world a better place. So if anybody wants to get involved with reducing our waste on campus, and or even getting plastic bags banned in the town of Mansfield, we'll be over at this front corner right here. Please join me. Thank you for coming to Kickoff.
Hello, my name is Gabby Latori, and I will be running the Save the Bees campaign. After joining the food campaign next last semester, I learned that bees are responsible for 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we eat, as well as materials such as cotton that we use every day to fly our pollination to grow. That's why it's important that we do everything in our power to help the decline of the bee population. This semester, our campaign will be planting a bee garden near the South Dining Hall, as well as educating others on neonicotinoids and pollination. We will also be going around our community to get local restaurants to sign into the Bee-Friendly Food Alliance and gathering as many volunteers as we can along the way. I got involved with PIRG last semester when I interned on this same campaign with the Service Learning Coordinator. I was looking for ways to get involved like many of you guys today and make a change on my campus when I was introduced to PIRG. I met a group of passionate individuals that were different in so many ways but all had one thing in common, the dedication to make a change in their communities. The reason that I enjoyed working on the bee campaign is because I had no idea how important bees were to our environment before joining. I'm still involved today because I've seen the work and change that we have made throughout the campaigns in just one semester, and it has motivated me to continue to make change for the bees. So if any of you guys are interested, we will be in that back corner, and I hope to see you guys. Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Abhishek. I am the campaign coordinator for the Hunger and Homelessness campaign. Before I get started, I just want to see a show of hands, just polling the room. Who here has ever volunteered at a soup kitchen or helped out at a local homeless shelter? All right, right. So the majority of you guys probably went in thinking you were going to benefit those people, right? But there is a benefit that it comes from volunteering at those initiatives. And that benefit, it gives you the opportunity to see how people live on the other side of things. The thing that we do with the Hunger and Homelessness campaign is we try to add that perspective not only through awareness, but working on direct policies. So, there are a ton of different causes that we could take on. At any point in this nation, over 600,000 people are homeless. And that's just one of the startling statistics that we tend to overlook in our day and age in this society. So, what we try to do on our campaign is to attack it from both fronts. Not only through direct outreach, but also through policy. On the direct outreach front, this semester we are planning to host the National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week campaign on this campus. And what we want to do with that is get as many people out to volunteer in local areas in the Wyndham community, which is one of the lowest economic infrastructure communities in the state, and as well as support local homeless shelters, food centers, and table for hurricane victims and other things like that. The other aspect on the policy side of things, which most people don't seem to really know too much. Like if you think about hunger and homelessness, you're thinking like, how can I help out at a soup kitchen? Or I can go to the local homeless shelter and give people blankets and stuff. Currently, in the federal legislature, there is a farm bill that is going through the process. And one of the things that's tacked onto the farm bill is a SNAP provision. SNAP is food stamps. And basically what this provision does is it limits the ability of people to necessarily have access by raising the working requirement. And this can have ramifications all the way through to students getting free lunch. So we are working to enact grassroots local campaigning for this policy, as well as continue to do direct outreach. So if any of you are interested in that, please come to the breakout and come learn more. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So who gets tired on rainy days? So before I get started, now that we are 45 minutes in, I want everybody to do stretch up. And everybody stretch out. And I hope everybody's a little more awake now. I get really tired on rainy days, and I want everybody's attention for the next part of this, because the breakout groups are really important, and I'm so happy you guys are here, and I'm really, really excited about this campaign. And before I get started, I want to thank Kylie Hillerud, who is the reason you are all in this room. She is the one that sets up all of our coordinators to contact everybody and to get in your classes and to go to tables and to just make this day happen. So I want to give a quick round of applause. My name is Emily O'Hara, and the only thing I'm going to tell you right now is that is my name, and I am a voter, because that's all you need to know right now. That's an identity that I can share with every other student who is 18 years of age and a citizen of the United States. We can all be voters. If you haven't gathered yet, I am coordinating the New Voters Project. It is our lead campaign this semester. And the reason I'm coordinating it is because I worked on NVP in 2016 as a freshman. I was the class announcements coordinator, and on November 9th of 2016, I knew that I was going to start preparing for this day, for this semester, for this campaign, and for this election cycle. Why am I running it? We are the largest demographic, which means we have the most potential to make an impact. But we are turning out at the lowest rate. Not anymore. It's time to reclaim our right and reclaim our identity as voters. And I'm here to see every Husky that can become a voter. We, in 2016, helped to register 2,400 students to vote. We helped to increase voter turnout in Mansfield by 23%. That is incredible. You heard all the amazing statistics from the Secretary of State and from Walter at the beginning, but I'm just going to keep saying them again and again. Our goal this semester is to register 2,500 students to vote. Yes, it is higher. Yes, this is a midterm, but it is 2,500 because I believe that we can do it. I have faith in democracy and in us and in our ability to reclaim that and be a part of it. If we lose this opportunity, we lose our voice, and I'm not about to live to see that happen. You don't have to wait to be involved in activism. That's what we're here for. So that's what this campaign is. It's a chance to change our future. We are going to register 2,500 students to vote on campus and 3,000 in the state of Connecticut in our campaign alone. We are going to establish a Husky Vote Coalition that reaches across departments, organizations, student groups, reaches across the state to really give longevity and stability to voting. We are going to have a party. We're going to have multiple parties. We are going to make voting the festivity that it was when our founding fathers made it, where people would actually turn up on election day. And guess what? We're going to turn up and we're going to turn out. And I know that it's going to be lit. And I'm embarrassing, I know. We're going to be nonpartisan, which means we're going to reach everybody we can. No student eliminated. We are going to talk to everybody, and we're going to register as many people as possible. And all of this lies in the hands of empowered and excited volunteers, interns, coordinators, campaign coordinators, faculty, staff, anybody. It lies in your hands, which is why I'm so excited. I believe it's our power. Students have power to do this. So I'm running MVP because I started working on it 2 years ago when we did it in the fall of 2016, and I feel like it gave me the foundation I needed to grow as a leader, to develop my skills, and to be the person I am today. I just grew into this family of activists, and I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't with them. It's why I came back this semester. It's why I've been here for 2 years, and it's why I'm excited to be entering into my 3rd year. Why I'm in PIRG? It's because I believe all issues are political, and all politics is local. If we can act on the local
had a prior engagement who found enough time in their schedules to show up here. They are our state senator, May Flexer, and our state representative, Greg Haddad. So let's give it up for them.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to have the chance to be here with you quickly this evening, being here at the PIRG Kickoff, which I remember being at a long time ago when I was a UConn student. And I just want to say, first of all, how lucky I am to be your state senator and represent you at the state capitol in Hartford. And what a great partnership Representative Haddad and I have had over the last several years with this organization in taking some of the issues that you work on here and helping to make them a reality. And perhaps our most successful example of that is the open source textbook issue that we've worked on for the last several years. And it was exciting. Just last night I was walking through the library and I saw all the posters and all the new professors and all the new departments that now had open source resources that students across this campus were using. And that's because of the work that we did as legislators and the advocacy and the research that this organization did. So I'm excited to partner with you again on some of the issues that you're working on this year. And thank you so much for having us here.
Right. And so just to build on that, that's where we got the idea for open source textbook legislation in Connecticut was here at a PIRG meeting. I think went to, there was a report that US PIRG had issued. There was a seminar here on campus. And we took that with us to the state capitol and turned it into real legislation. And we're continuing to work on issues that I think are really important for students. Things around college affordability, which, as chairman of the Higher Education Committee, may serve on that committee with me. That's one of our primary goals, is to figure out ways that we can make a college education more affordable for students in Connecticut. So we're really happy to be here. We look to you guys for energy and ideas. You've always produced it. It's a great organization to get involved with, and so I encourage you to pick one of the campaigns that most interest you, be actively involved, and know that we have our ears wide open. Thank you.
Thank you so much, May and Greg. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to break out into our breakout groups. We have B's. Oh, Gabby, you can raise your hand. We have B's over up in that corner. We have Zero Waste, Isabel. We have New Voters Project, Emily. Walter's going to be up there talking about textbooks. Harp, 100%. B-Check.
There.
Okay, by the Hunger Homelessness.